So Sandy Brondello is one of the top coaches in the entire WNBA, and she has in fact coached. She's coached Caitlin Clark in an All-Star game. She's had the coach against Caitlin Clark. She was the coach that Caitlin Clark had the first rookie triple-double ever against. She was a coach that Caitlin Clark had 30 out of 25-point first half against. Caitlin does tend to turn it up. New York, Chicago, they are the teams realistically that they are the teams that Caitlin just tends to destroy. And Dallas, Jesus Christ, Caitlin makes a mockery of the Dallas Wings franchise. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. Caitlin Clark has set her career high at the all-time record in assists, all-time record in points generated. And let's also not forget what Caitlin Clark did against Dallas in her second last game before she was injured. She literally just toyed with them. She had like 17 and 13, but she toyed with them the whole game. But anyway, let's take a listen to Sandy Brondello talking about players that are difficult to coach against.
Oh, geez, that's a good Asia. I think Asia's really hard to defend. She needs a crowd around her. I think Caitlin Clark is really hard to guard, when she's healthy. Just her ability. She gave us a lot of handful this year, and, she can shoot it from way out, but she's can pass it, and I think she's been a tough one. But yes, it's analytically driven and trying to work it out. But sometimes the analytics may say, go under on her. She's not shooting so well. And okay, well, then
she's
just
of her life. Yeah.
She's just made 5, shots by what? No, let's change it. That's when I'm like, I always say analytics, it's great information. It gives you knowledge, but then sometimes you got to see what. Yeah, non-shooter. She can't shoot it, and they make 3 in a row. You're like, okay, let's play a little closer now. Come on, that's when you think, you just got. This is what I see. That's why I say I'm human driven and
I'm not gonna lie. I think that's one of those things with Caitlin. It's you're never gonna leave Caitlin open. Just like you're never gonna leave Paige open. Paige shot the ball terribly from 3 last year on a low volume, but you're still never going to you're still never going to leave Paige open. You're still absolutely never going to leave Paige open. Just like you're never going to leave Caitlin open. And Sandy's not wrong. You can tell by the way that not only she guards Caitlin, and you can tell by the way other teams guard Caitlin. Again, Nate Tibbetts. What Nate Tibbetts has sacrificed Kalia Copper. He sacrificed Kalia Copper to guard Caitlin, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Caitlin was a rebound off a triple-double. I think she had, 15, 13, and 9? She was a rebound off a triple-double. And at the end of the day, that is really, really important. That teams, you can tell that teams, the way teams guard Caitlin by how they defend her. You can tell the teams why they think Caitlin's so hard to guard by how they do it. We saw, I'm not joking when I say this, the first half of her last game against Vegas, and by the way, she had maybe the worst second half of her career. Her in the second half was as bad as I've ever seen Caitlin play. She literally, what's her name? Becky Hammond literally gave Aaliyah Boston open layups for an entire half. She gave Aaliyah Boston open layups in the entire half. And then she switched everything in the second half. And Stephanie White was too rigid in her weird system that was just allowing the switches happen and not just walking into mismatches. They were running all these weird offensive sets that allowed them to set up their defense exactly the way they wanted to. That was the game where I'm I genuinely think that Stephanie White, look, it's very, very, very obvious that I'm not a fan of Stephanie White. That I'm absolutely not a fan of Stephanie White in a way of I don't think that she's a bad coach by any means. I think that she is a good coach, genuinely a good coach. I just don't like her coaching Caitlin Clark. I'm not even gonna say I don't like her coaching this team. I don't like her coaching this team, a team that is led by Caitlin Clark. I think it simultaneously makes Caitlin worse, and it's like it also makes it makes Caitlin almost arguably a negative for the team. But yeah, it is an interesting thing because you can see the way all these teams talk about how hard it is to guard Caitlin, and most of the time when they talk about guarding Caitlin, it's the stuff that her own coach doesn't want her to do. Like, they'll talk about how she can see all these passes. They'll talk about how basically she's almost this like maverick type talent. And then we always say it's like, how do you guard Caitlin Clark? You get the ball out of her hands. Caitlin Clark's own coach, yeah, we don't want the ball in her hands. We actually don't want the ball in her hands. We want her playing off the ball. Other teams' coaches, how do you want to guard Caitlin? We want her to play off the ball. We want the ball out of her hands. Caitlin's coach, we don't want the ball in her hands. Like, it's one of those things where it's like all of the teams that she's playing against do not want the ball in her hands, and neither does her own coach. Like, there's no team that there's nobody that can game plan better for Caitlin Clark than Stephanie White. Whether she's a member of the Connecticut Sun or she's a member of the Indiana Fever coaching staff, there's nobody that game plans better for Caitlin Clark than Stephanie White. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's interesting to see the way Sandy's talking, but like it's obvious. Like, Carl Semesco picked her up full court in preseason. Carl Semesco just said, Ryan, you can score 0 points. We actually don't care. You can score 0. We don't care. As long as you guard Caitlin, you're good. You're good. Like, I know there was a game where where Ryan killed the Fever while guarding Caitlin. But, like, we've seen it with Cheryl Reeve. Kayla McBride, the time when they beat the Fever when the Fever beat them in Caitlin's rookie year, Kayla McBride literally did not shoot a jump shot until the fourth quarter. Like, literally didn't shoot a jump shot till the fourth quarter. But yeah, it's one of those things that's very obvious. It's very obvious with the way teams guard her. It's very obvious. People are like, oh, they full court pressure because she's going to turn the ball over. It's like, how many times this season did Caitlin Clark turn the ball over because of full court pressure? 3. 3 times on the season. Like, they full court pressure because they know the Indiana Fever has a bunch of offense stops here players, and they know the ball doesn't go back into her. They know it doesn't come back into her hands, so they want her to give it up. Either way, that's pretty much it, lads. That's just my opinion. I'll see you guys.